Hey everyone, Little Jedi here, and now before I get into the next part of Agartha, which is basically it's going to be an all dialogue thing. Uh, as you know from the news from the bits on the news, you see the news here, right there. There's gonna be a Blu-ray release campaign for the next week or so. It's going to be starting in a couple of days. That they're going to be basically going to be getting a bunch of sync quartz, some pieces, summon ticket, and a craft essence. There's going to be a limited craft essence. There's going to be a side quest. Basically, it's from Fate Extra Last Encore. I've actually watched the series on the first season on Netflix. Not bad. It based centers around Nero, and well, like I said, I've only seen the first season. Don't know. Haven't seen anything past it. I should get back into watching that, but continuing on here, it's based about Nero Claudius. She becomes a random person's master. Trying to think. Then that's basically it. They try to get to the moon cell, make their way through the moon through to get to all the way to the end. And well, don't know much after that, but now another thing that I'm going to talk about is the frequency of my uploads. I could not make a video. These videos are being recorded on as you can see on the date there, Monday, August 14th. I mean, not Monday, October 14th. And hold on, let me put it back here. Let's check. New guy, Mosh, and Jolter. Anyway, it's because I was doing the dailies on this one, and on the Monday dailies, I use what I call the JT, Jack, Jolter, and James Moriarty. They all have names that begin with J. Anyway. I couldn't make videos the other night. This was being recorded on these videos being recorded on Monday night. I couldn't make the videos on Sunday to make post videos on Monday. I'm gonna try and make some tomorrow night, but as soon as I make a video, I'm gonna upload them. Now, let's get into the Agartha singularity. Alright, like I said, it's one of those free battles, so let's do this. Section 15. The story comes to fruition. You're the one behind all this? Fool. Huh? I don't understand. What do you mean the story is complete? Very well. My miscast. Now that everything is concluded, I shall tell you. It's very simple. In brief, I created Agartha by having my noble phantasm, my stories, erode the real world. Put differently, you have all been inside my 1001 nights this entire time. What? Hold on. But that doesn't make any sense. The 1001 Nights doesn't have a story set in an underground world. It's nothing like this. And needless to say, they definitely don't include East, Night City, El Dorado, the Peach Garden, or the Dragon Palace. That may be, but I never told the tales of Aladdin or Alibaba when I was alive either. Huh? Now I see. 1001 Nights as we know them now contain a number of parts that were added over the course of various retellings. But if she's able to use them all without any issue, it may be that she gets to decide that the 1001 Nights are. Decide what the 1001 Nights are. Indeed. Stories I learned through books. Stories I improvised myself. Stories that came after my time, but that I could have plausibly told. The 1001 Nights were never a fixed set, but a malleable collection that grew over time. As such, it only makes sense that I would have a right to choose what goes into them. Now to put that out, I can see a connection between this world and your noble phantasm. Fictional or not, everything here is part of a story. I might have realized it sooner, if I'd paid more attention to that. Then again, maybe I didn't realize because there's still something I can't quite believe. The sheer scale and rigidity of this world. This is on a whole other level from the monster Shakespeare wrote into existence in Shinjuku. Here, it's more like the rules of this world, rather that this entire singularity is itself a story. That's the equivalent of rewriting reality. That would have to be an incredibly powerful spell, somehow power the reality marvel. I guess it could be possible for a demon god pillar, but still. I suspected as much. All stories, whether they be fiction or non-fiction, have an element of authenticity. Even non-fiction? Of course. After all, what is describing events as a story? By definition, these events are not taking place in reality. Oh, okay. English, please. What's all that? What's that all mean? It means the evidence was in plain sight from the beginning. Every servant here has had some manner of inauthenticity to them. That is the proof that this has all been a story. What do you mean by that, Holmes? This underground domain has blended together story and reality to an even greater degree in Shinjuku. In Shinjuku, that blend merely occurred as a result of Bial's choice to use phantom spirits. But in Agartha, I sense it to be a deliberate choice. Once this unnatural underground space was created, heroic spirits were summoned to it, but significant attractions were made to them. Some reactions were all but inevitable in such a process. In this case, I believe they are the story each servant has made to perform. Was made to perform. Wait, back up. Did you say every servant here? I did indeed. Let's begin with the most obvious examples. Surely there was something that struck you as inauthentic about them. Christopher Columbus had amnesia. Hercules was Hercules Megalos, an enormous mindless beast in a constant berserk state. And Drake was Dahoot. Those are certainly the dearest examples. Certainly the clearest examples. Sorry, my eyes. I'm not using my reading glasses. But I'm afraid I had no other choice. You know, let me take a moment to put my reading glasses on. Sorry, folks. With age comes, well, stuff. Oh shit! These reading glasses are getting a little. I have to clean up a little bit. Sorry for the delay, folks. Alright. They're much more. After all, Pirate Prince Dahoot, the ruler of beasts, was simply impossible to summon as a servant. I see. That puts one in mind of phantom spirits. Yeah, to be honest, Wu Zetian and the Nightly City have been nagging at me for a while now. What do you mean? They're from entirely different periods. Wu Zetian was from the Tang Dynasty, while the Nightly City is from the Han. I let it pass by me at first, since by both since they both came from China. But when you think about it, it makes no sense for Wu Zetian to be the ruler of the Nightless City. They have no connection to it other than their country, and they're hundreds of years apart historically. Assuming that was indeed Wu Zetian's inauthenticity, the found peace of the Amazons, the most elementary of all these errors. They fall into much the same category as Wu Zetian, in that their historical domain differed greatly from the land they controlled here. Hold on, sorry. But did the Amazons live in the jungle? Precisely. Those who lived in the jungles of South America, the ones who protected El Dorado, are entirely different from the warrior women of Greek mythology. Some believe that the tribe of women who lived in the jungle only came to be associated due to their similarities to the myth, and that is why the river in the surrounding area came to be known as the Amazon. In essence, the Greek figures are no more than the model for those in the story of El Dorado. And so the fact that Penthesil lived in El Dorado was itself another inauthenticity. And then, there's me, the fledgling warrior. The Fergus was nothing like the Fergus you all know. Scheherazade, you said I was your one miscast. What did you mean by that? Fergus Machroy, your intended role was a stirrup Agartha, though in a different way than Heracles. I had read that you were the embodiment of male sexuality, that you required 7 women every night just to satisfy your lust. I thought you would be even lustier when I summoned you in your youth, but you ended up being too young. I could not have imagined that you would appear as a boy uncomfortable around women, to the point that you could not even raise a hand against one. You are by far my greatest miscalculation. Miscalculation? So I'm only here because of a mistake? I'm a pointless side character, a half-baked extra. I hate to admit it, that makes a lot of sense. I haven't been any help in a single battle so far. It didn't matter whether I was there or not. But that's only true for the audience. For me, this adventure has been Fergus. Yes, Master Fergus' authenticity is his youth. Essentially, everything we see before us now. One might go so far as to assert that every other servant who may have been summoned here and eliminated prior to our meeting would have had some inauthentic characteristic about them. Then the noble phantasm you have been using before all this time, Alf Lele We Layla, the 1001 Nights? That is what you use to create this world and to summon twisted forms of servants to fill it? I only have one question. Why would you do such a thing? You really have to ask? I thought my desire had been made quite clear. I have certainly voiced it often enough. Then your objective is to live a long life? No, I never said anything like that. All I want is to not die. Isn't that the same thing? Not in the slightest, as long as you are alive. You will one day have to die. Excuse me, but you do know that we're all servants, right? What difference does that make? To exist now inevitably means dying later. It's the same thing. In the end, we servants are nothing more than familiars. Once our task is finished, we disappear. That too is death. It holds the same chill solitude and misery, the same terrifying intercourse with nothingness, as when you cease to exist. I can't stand it. I spent every one of those 1001 nights wishing for nothing more than to not die. Every fiber of my being is terrified of death. And as a heroic spirit, the only way for me to ever avoid dying is to destroy the world. The man who summoned me taught me that. Then that man must be the demon god pillar. When she first showed up, I of course scanned her for the demon god pillar's signal. If she really is the one who's been working with him, then how do they avoid detection? Let's not forget that the other little tiny thing she brought up. Did you say destroy the world? Agartha story is one in which related stories and those of servants summoned here mingle and fight. And ultimately comes to fruition once they disappear. My noble phantasm gives his stories form. His power made them real. Very soon, my story, the story of Agartha, will assume the form it was always meant to take. An earthquake? No, it's not that. I can't believe it. Your z-axis coordinates are rising rapidly. The ground is moving, the sky is splitting. It's like the entire space is moving upward. Okay. Whoop. What the? There's a real sky instead of a cocky ceiling. There's a real sky instead of a real rocky ceiling now? Impossible. You mean tell me we're flying? This is Agartha's final form come to life. No story all its own. It is now the floating city of Laputa. I have brought up everything I had to take to that king in order to not die. Not only my stories, but my body as well. As such, there can be no more fitting name for the finale than Laputa, the Horror. Rise, Laputa, gaze down upon the earth and plummet towards it. Ye shall be the last of the mythical cities, the destroyer of the world's natural laws. And that should be the end of it, for now, until the next part of the singularity comes up. Okay, this brings back memories of Final Fantasy VI. Okay, different memory. Okay. Yep, gonna be getting the Holy Grail after this one. And it's gonna be a caster and a bunch of other servants unknown, but I already know the caster is of course Scheherazade, and the others will be various other classes that all have taunt on them, so you have to attack them first, and from there it's just basically going to be you're going to be I'm just going to be basically blowing all these away, which means I'm going to probably take some AoE servants with me. I'll have to figure out which ones, but that'll be in the next video. Until then, this is Love Jay saying thank you all for watching. See you next time. The next one will be the next part of the Shimosa Singularity. See you then. Take care of yourselves.